Hello neighbor, I'm Robert Burns, and it is such a delight to be back with you. As many of you will recall, our most recent feature dealt with the W.D. Smith Career Academy in Lafayette and some improprieties which took place, which now nobody even argues that the improprieties didn't take place, about unauthorized observers within the cosmetology program at that school. I will just briefly relay to you, the Cosmetology Board continues to be evasive with me. They have basically provided a response to a public records request that basically all but admits that there has never been any approval for this teaching program, and also that when the program itself for regular high school students was approved back in late 2003, which they had to pull from microfilm to provide me with that, that it was approved to offer 3 hours a day, 5 days a week during the school year. If you do the math, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, 36 weeks in a school year, by my math, and I think I can do those type calculations, you would get 540 hours a year. So I have made further public records requests for the actual students who received cosmetology licenses by using the W.D. Smith Career Academy, because the situation we told you about on the holdover students, those who were invited back, and so they got their full-blown cosmetology license. It's going to be very interesting to see how they accumulated so many hours and how many may have been supplied on a given day, given that it was supposed to be capped at 3. And of course, we'll be following up on that. The next board meeting is March the 5th. We're certainly going to be there, and we'll continue to stay on top of this situation. But I want to just digress for just a moment. Even though I largely complimented the Lafayette Parish School System with regard to it fixing the problem, I cannot begin to tell you how many phone calls and emails I got from people. Normally my phone has very few calls from the 337 area code, so I made the mistake of thinking I would be able to remember who was who. And when this whole feature with Miss Allen on Channel 10 ran, you would not believe what I got bombarded with about concerns people in the Lafayette area have about corruption within the Lafayette Parish School System. And I'm just going to say one thing. In following up on some of those concerns, I made a public records request for the legal invoices for the Lafayette Parish School System from 2 law firms going back for about 4 years. Actually, we went back to 2012, but I think they indicated those had been destroyed and whatnot. May be wrong on that, but at any rate, it has just been one more nightmare. And I'm fixing to show you an example of that, and we're going to have it right below this video. But let me just say this. Presently, pending before the Louisiana legislature is initiatives for what is called the Louisiana Checkbook. And what it would do is very similar to the Ohio Checkbook Initiative. It would allow you, as just an ordinary citizen, to go in and start examining expenditures, not just of the state of Louisiana and all of its agencies and all of its political subdivisions, but also these individual governmental entities at the parish level, including the Lafayette Parish School System. And you're going to see the biggest reason Lafayette Parish School System right now is providing a huge billboard of advertising of why we need this initiative, okay? And the reason that I say this, and you're going to see this response came today, February 27th, from Miss Mona Bernard about my request for those legal invoices, okay? And I don't make stuff up, folks. You're seeing it right in front of the camera there. And this is what it says. People, plural, people are working on downloading the files, but it will take weeks. Not singular, W-E-E-K-S, weeks. And then our attorney has to review and redact information, which will take additional time. Now, let me translate that for you, okay? I could show you correspondence from Miss Bernard prior to this, where we had even set up a time, 11:30. On February the 22nd. The day I am filming this is the 27th, so that was 5 days ago. We had already lined it up, you know, for me to come in and I could go ahead and take photos off the computer screen. But she probably gave me that invitation and we lined it up, and we set up the time, we set up the date prior to bouncing it off these individual law firms. If you hadn't noticed, these law firms, They don't like you snooping around in their records, okay? And without question, these fees are going to be staggering because they got into a protracted legal battle with their former superintendent, Dr. Pat Cooper, went all the way to the Louisiana Supreme Court, and they lost, okay? And I have shown you other instances of attorneys, they don't like losing. I don't blame them, I don't like losing either, okay? But it's becoming pretty clear to me that they don't want some of these people who called me and emailed me about the staggering legal costs that this board has chosen to expend. And that's tough, because we're going to get to them. We're going to get it, okay? If it means I got to file yet another lawsuit, that's what I'll do. But I just wanted to let you see some of the biggest reason, and I want to emphasize, I've been told that the Lafayette Parish school system is a proponent of the checkbook. At least that's what they're saying publicly, okay? But I can just tell you that when you have a situation where it's going to take weeks just to download files of your legal invoices, something's wrong. We may as well go back to the days of pen and paper, because there's no way in hell it would have taken weeks to get this information in the old-fashioned days before computers ever came along. So this is an admission, if you can take this at face value, and I don't, I will be blunt with you. I believe this is attorneys who don't want you snooping around in their records and are telling you basically, go F yourself, okay? And they're figuring that weeks that I'll get discouraged and I won't follow up. They're wrong. And trust me, we're going to stay on top of this. But as during this current session, this special session, there is an initiative to approve the Louisiana checkbook. Folks, you need to get on board, because I can't begin to tell you the ungodly amount of man hours that are wasted, both on journalists' part and on the parts, or at least if you can believe it, that people are working on. People, not a person, people. And it's gonna take weeks. You're talking about the epitome of inefficiency. This stuff ought to be up on a website to where you or anyone else, or Elizabeth Crisp or any other journalist, I throw out Elizabeth Crisp because I'm told she's a strong proponent of the Louisiana checkbook, and I don't blame her. Why should she or any other journalist have to put up with this kind of crap? Okay? And as taxpayers, we're the ones providing the funding for these people to do what they're doing. We have every right to see what they're doing. Perhaps the whole Edmondson Vegas trip, you know, the state policing, perhaps that could have been averted if we had ability for John Q. Public out there to scrutinize it. Sure, Darryl Pepera does a great job with his staff. They only have so much manpower, though. I am telling you, what we need is tens, if not hundreds of thousands of everyday Louisiana citizens having the ability to audit this stuff, and then you're going to see just how massive the amount of fraud, waste, and abuse is in state government and in local municipalities. And in order to do it, we need the Louisiana Checkbook Initiative. And Lafayette Parish School System is, like I said, presently may as well take out a billboard saying they are the poster child of why we need this initiative. Let me read it one more time. People are working on downloading the files, but it will take weeks. I rest my case. Call your legislator, have them support the Louisiana Checkbook Initiative. Thank you so much.